Welcome to Combat Recapped. For today's video, we'll be covering terrifying leg kicks that cause legs to fail. Now let's get to it. There's a faction among combat sports fans who hold one technique above all others. To this modest elite society, nothing beats the aesthetic of a fighter chopping down their opponent. From Pedro Hizo to Edson Barbosa, low kick masters are consistently the most feared fighters in martial arts. Besides, a limping opponent can be rendered helpless as they're continually battered. UFC commentator Joe Rogan has compared being hit full swing to the impact of a baseball bat. It doesn't matter how great a fighter is, when they decide to not check harmful leg kicks, it could for sure put a dent in their game plan over time. For this list, we have comprised some of MMA and kickboxing leg kicks that noticeably cause their opponents to second-guess their chances. Honestly, it's surprising to see that some of these fighters' legs didn't fall off in the process. So without further ado, these are terrifying leg kicks that caused the legs to fail. Number 12. Michael Tomahawk Thompson. Michael Thompson and Thomas Makowski battled it out for the World Lightweight Muay Thai title at Total Carnage Fight Night 3 on April 7, 2013 on the Gold Coast, Australia. The fight didn't last long at all, probably only 30 seconds after the first round. A couple of kicks to the thigh and it was all over, to the point Thomas's leg was failing. We mean to the point where he had to be carried out by a stretcher. Number 11. Amanda Nunez. Midway into the first round, Shayna Basler could no longer stand after a kick slammed into her knee, giving Nunez her first win since the setback against Kat Zingano. Number 10. Ernesto Hoost. It wouldn't be the case though this time when he faced Ernesto Hoost in the K1 Grand Prix quarterfinals back in '96. In the end, Hoost's accuracy simply proved too much for Mirko Krokop, one of whose greatest assets was his ability to zero in on an injury and take his opponent right out of the game. We mean it speaks volumes that the man who is known for powerful leg kicks was limping back to his corner after having to end the fight due to a low KO. Number 9. Yuta Kubo. Speaking of zeroing in on an injury or not, Yuta didn't hesitate to chop down his opponent's leg. Hitoshi Tsukukoshi had fallen twice in that fight. The first instance was earlier in the first round, but after he had fallen the second time, the ref stepped in after he believed he'd seen enough. Yuta was still landing this leg kick while Hitoshi was on his way down to the canvas. Number 8. Pat Barry. Pat Barry made his UFC debut at UFC 92 against Dan Evenson and let the heavyweight division know what he's all about: leg kicks. He downright murdered Evenson's legs with powerful kicks, which led to Barry's third TKO victory via leg kicks. After eating a good amount of leg kicks, Evenson stumbled back and decided to wave off the fight, knowing his leg had no use for him anymore. Evenson's knee had turned inside out, causing his knee to be completely blown out. Number 7. Alex Perez. Alex Perez stopped Jussier Formiga with leg kicks at UFC 250. The calf kick was a little too much to handle. We mean, you could just tell from Formiga's face that Alex was throwing stingers. The leg kicks began to take a toll as Formiga's movement slowed down about halfway through the first round. Number 6. Dustin Poirier. McGregor the Irishman had no answer this time around as Poirier executed an expert game plan to perfection, using precise leg kicks to weaken McGregor's base before unloading a barrage of shots to end it inside the second round. McGregor was forced to use crutches to make his way to the post-fight press conference and admitted his leg was quote-unquote completely dead. Conor suffered minor damage to the peroneal nerve, also known as the fibular nerve, in the right leg. Number 5. Jeremy Stephens. Stephens opened the contest with a powerful low kick as Melendez kept his hands high and looked to get into a rhythm. Stephens continued with the attacks on the leg and a nasty welt developed just below the left knee. Carrie Ann Taylor Melendez, herself an MMA fighter and kickboxer, uploaded 2 pictures to social media illustrating how badly her husband's left leg was doing. Compared to his right, the knee on his left leg was about twice the size of his right. Number 4. Anthony Hardonk. It's amazing to see how vastly superior the UFC heavyweight ranks have become in such a short period. The third pre-game scrap saw the Dutch debut, and Anthony Hardonk tussle with late sub Sherman Pendergrass. This fight was not much of a contest, as Hardonk had already hurt Sherman in the earlier round, but the leg kick would be the icing on the cake. The European overwhelmed the possibly underprepared Pendergrass and ruled to a first-round stoppage, capping affairs with a right straight and a hard kick to the left leg. Number 3. PT Rujirarong. Experienced Thai standouts surely have a much stronger tolerance for low kick than your average UFC fighter. That made it all the more impressive when PT immediately dropped his opponent, Card Check, and finished in the first round via leg kick to TKO. Number 2. Jose Aldo. Faber took a total of 31 kicks to the legs. The fighter admitted that he was in a lot of pain starting near the beginning of the fight when Aldo got some good kicks in. Towards the end of the fight, Faber was limping and unable to fight his best. There were no adjustments that could compensate for Faber's lack of mobility. We mean, even looking at his leg, you can't deny that Uriah Faber was a total warrior for taking those on. Number 1. Justin Gaethje. In Joe Rogan's podcast, the subject of bone density was discussed. Apparently, Justin Gaethje believes his bone density has led to his outstanding leg kick prowess. In an early fight, 24-year-old Justin Gaethje made Brian Cobb tap from leg kicks. Gaethje throws his kicks with such determined power that his opponent visibly reacts to them. Justin also faced Brian Foster at World Series of Fighting 29 for the WSOF Lightweight Championship. Having never lost a single fight in his MMA career at the time, Gaethje maintained that record as he knocked out Brian Foster with leg kicks to successfully defend the title belt. And that right there concludes this list. If you enjoyed this video, let us know how we did in the comment section down below. Be sure to subscribe to Combat Recapped and hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video.